Hello, everybody. Peace and blessings to you, and thank you for clicking on this video. I am recording in the 5 a.m. hour on April 3rd, 2025, and I'm in my laundry room. And this is again one of those unplanned videos, not even dressed up. This is an unplanned video. This is an early morning thoughts video. There are times where I get up early in the morning and my mind is on something that I want to share, that I want to capture, that I want to pull on that thread, and I want to discuss and talk about a little bit. And this is one of those mornings. This is one of those mornings where, okay, I had a good night's sleep. I went to bed on time. The previous night, I did not. I went to bed after 12 because I was watching something that I got so into that I stayed up a little bit longer than I should, and I felt the effects of it the next day. I did feel a little bit sleepy the next day. So last night, I made sure that I got my rest. So I woke up early. I woke up at a good hour in the morning. I woke up in the 3 a.m. hour. And what I've done so far is I've been doing a little bit of morning reading. And what I've read so far is I just started a new book. And by the way, I am reading a whole bunch of books at the same time. You know, it depends on my mood. It depends on what I feel like reading at that particular moment. I'm listening to various audibles, and every day I am in some way, form, or fashion taking in something new. I am learning. And I that is why I do think that Letitia Learns Life, my channel, is the app channel and the app theme for where I am at in this stage of my life. So I do a lot of reading, a lot of listening, a lot of taking in information in various ways. I just read my mood, I read the time that I have, and I try to figure out what's the best thing to do to learn and to take in and to absorb. So this morning, where's my thoughts? You know, constantly, if you are one of my constant watchers of my videos, I know my mom is definitely my number one video supporter, and I really love and appreciate that my mom watches all my videos and comments on as many as she can and supports my channel in a very big way. And I do know that there are in existence others that also try to support my channel every time they can, every opportunity that they get. And I appreciate that. I appreciate those who constantly watch and constantly support my channel. And I am just so grateful for you. I'm so grateful to my subscribers and to those who watch, to those who see me in their feed and they take the time to click to see what I have to say. You know, I really appreciate that. So what I was thinking is I constantly say in my videos, I constantly tell you the whole purpose for my videos, what my videos are all about. And there's some words that you hear me use all the time because I'm quite repetitive. I'm quite repetitive because it is what it is. What, you know, the themes are what they are. The themes in my life and the thoughts in my life are what they are, and the where I am is where I am. So you constantly hear me say that I am in a period of learning, leading. I don't usually say leading, but I'm going to add that as well. Leading, being the light, observing, navigating, absorbing. So that's where I'm at. And I just wanted to add some new words to that list. You know, this is where my thoughts are today. You know, like I said, I started reading a book. I don't even know if I mentioned the book I started reading, but I started reading this morning a new book, and it's called Transmute and Empower: The Art of Transmuting Negative Energy into Positive Energy. And who is the writer of this book? It doesn't have the title right there. Let me see if I find it. The author is where is it? Sydney Hopkins. The author is Sydney Hopkins. I just read the first 2 chapters, so now I'm to chapter 3. Transmute and Empower, the art of transmuting negative energy into positive energy. Sydney Hopkins. I'm reading that in the ebook format on my Kindle tablet, my Kindle e-reader tablet, if that's what you call it. Right. So I started that this morning, and I also read this today. I also read lesson 5 on tyranny, 20 lessons from the 20th century to 20 lessons from the 20th century. Timothy Snyder, this little book here. This is about fascism. This is about the lessons that we should have learned as humanity in the ugliest time of history, in the time of World War II, in the time of Hitler, in the 1930s, 1940s, Germany. These are lessons to learn of making good decisions so that we don't end up on the same path, so we don't end up creating the same dark history over again. So I read lesson 5 this morning. Remember professional ethics. The one that I read yesterday was lesson 4. Take responsibility for the face of the world. And I wanted to add. So let me just add some words to where I am at in 2025, what my journey and purpose feels like for me, and what I feel like it is for all of us. I feel as though it is our responsibility in this year of 2025, because to me, how I've been seeing it, how I feel that this is, it feels like every test that we've ever taken as a humanity in our darker times, our light test and our dark tests, the testing of the choices that we make and where we are, how we pay attention and what we've learned from history. All the tests is like, it's like we're taking the finals. It's like everything was just like going through things and learning things and studying things and understanding things, and now we're taking the finals. And the question is, how prepared are we to take the finals? Because if we take the finals and we pass the finals, the ascension, if we pass, oh my gosh, the future is bright and hopeful and healed and incredible and creative and wonderful and colorful and rich and amazing and all the good, positive, wonderful words you could think of. If we pass, if we make the right choices this time. And as you can see, there's a lot of people that are failing, even with the knowledge that we have gained from the experience and what we've learned. I mean, there are documentaries, there are books, there are writers, there's so much that we have learned over the years, And if I knew that this test was coming, if I knew that I was going to be in a time such as this, I would have prepared better. I unfortunately have to cram for this test. I didn't realize what my path was. I didn't realize where I was heading. I didn't realize how I should have prepared for a time such as this. All I know is I was thinking about my past this morning. I was thinking about it this morning and yesterday. And I was thinking that my life naturally prepared me to a certain extent to be everything that I am being in this time. I was being prepared for it without even knowing I was being prepared for it. I realized that this is a video for another time, but I thought of an idea for a video. How do I know I'm a light worker? How do I know I'm a light worker? Based on past experience. The fact that I don't hate anybody. I don't hate Trump. I don't feel hate towards any of these dictators or any of these bad people. or anybody in the force of darkness. Actually, I'm viewing them as tools, as vessels, as tools and vessels created, doing what they're supposed to do, doing what they were put here to do, created for humanity to learn and to grow and to face their shadows and to overcome. And so I really do feel that we're taking the final exam, and this is going to lead us to like I said, an amazing future. And it could be called, you could call it whatever the heck you want, because people give things all kinds of titles. The golden age, the new earth, you know, it is about ascending. I'm just using words that I've heard other people use, because for me, words are it's just a form of communication, but there's an energy in which we understand things, you know. And I've said, for anybody who followed me through the years, my mom would know, I've said that for many years, that when I started doing these videos and started to become an external speaker, using my outside voice. And when I say my outside voice, I mean my external voice, you know, instead of the inside voice inside my head. So when I started to do this, I always would say, throughout the process, I would say, I'm working on developing my language, my words, because words is just our form of communication so that we can understand each other. But then I heard a video yesterday where somebody worded it like this, and I would have to say that resonates with me, that energy is a language, you know. And the reason I try to develop my words is so that I could help people to understand what I feel, understand what I sense, understand what I naturally understand, you know. Like I said, I'm also exploring on this, learning more about chakras and everything. So I know about the crown chakra, which is the knowing chakra. It's like, you know what you know. You don't know how you know what you know, but you know what you know. You know? You just know. It's not a feeling, it's a knowing. You know what you know, and you don't know how you know what you know. You don't know how to prove to people that you know what you know. You don't know how to explain that you know what you know, but you know what you know. So words is just our form of communication so that we can understand each other. But there's a deeper understanding that humanity have, a deeper connection that we have, that is beyond language, beyond words, beyond what comes out of the throat chakra. You know, it is that knowing, it is that sensing, it is that soul connection, that those spiritual downloads that we know about, you know, that we sense, we feel, it's a language of itself. You know, that is where the understanding that music is what was the word they would use? Music is a universal language, because music is energy, you know. Music is not words, music is a feeling. It's something that you feel in your core and you get it. Tears is a universal language. When you see people crying, you know they're sad. Whether they say words or not, you know they're sad. So our soul connection, our expression, our physical expression, our what we feel from other people, that is a language. Energy is a language. So in 2025, I do believe what we're supposed to be doing is basically taking the finals, making good choices every day, coming to the understanding that each person's choice is significant and it matters. You know, everything that we say, everything that we do, all the steps we take, whether we do it publicly, like on YouTube or on any of these social media apps, or we do it locally where we are, and maybe only our family and the people around us, our co-workers, the people around us experience our energy. But everything we do matters. Our words matter, and our actions matter. And there's nothing that doesn't matter. And some people can harness negative energy. Some people would prefer to use their time and their space to put things down, or to put people down, or to harness a more negative energy. And some people, like myself, a light worker, prefer to use my space and my time to try my best to harness positive energy, and also to try to encourage people to transmute energy. I'm coming to the conclusion and the belief that we are meant to take all the dark energy that is coming to the surface right now, everything that is coming up, the shadow work that is coming up right now, and transmute it into light. In other words, we ain't supposed to repeat history. We're not repeating history. We are transmuting the darkness, the dark energy into light. And one of the things that really one of the many things that has made that abundantly clear to me is the fact of how Cory Booker, senator from New Jersey, who is a light worker. I believe he's a light worker. He is full of so much light and so much goodness. He is a very, very imperfect but good person, good senator, imperfect but good senator, and good person. He spoke, not I know, people say it however they say it, but he didn't actually speak for 25 hours straight without stopping. He was assisted by other senators who would ask him very long questions to give him a break. But he stayed on the floor, standing for 25 hours, doing what a speech marathon. People word it differently. They call it filibuster. Don't know if it was actually a filibuster because he wasn't blocking anything. I don't know. But it is worded differently depending on who writes any headlines. The whole thing is, the longest filibuster was apparently, and I could possibly say this name wrong, but this is the name that I believe is in my head, by a senator, was apparently 24 hours by a senator named Strom Thurmond. And if I'm incorrect with the name, I will put the correct name in the video. You can always look it up, Strom Thurmond. And he was against civil rights. He was against Black people having the right to vote. He was against Cory Booker. That was the last one. That was the record that Cory Booker broke. The last speech that went over 24 hours was by somebody who was against civil rights, who was against the existence of Cory Booker, a Black senator, right? Against Black people being able to have an equal vote to white people. And obviously that might be something that might take more research, because the way how I learn, I can't, like I said, I can't go deep all the time. This is just a little bit of information that I picked up over the last 2 days. And a video that I watched that helped me to understand that even more was by Keith Bolkin, who makes really good videos to help you to understand the Black experience in this time and history, Black history, the Black experience throughout this process, and how what is happening with this attempted fascist regime takeover. What is happening? How is it affecting the Black community? So Keith Bolkin, he's very, very informative, and I watch his videos to learn and understand things. So to learn a little bit more about that, you could look it up. But the whole thing is, that was negative energy transmuted into positive energy. He broke the record. He transformed that record and turned it into positive. And that's what I feel like we are supposed to do right now. Tackle the darkness of our past, the shadows of our past. Face it, face our shadows in our own personal lives, and as a community in a whole. America is a learning country, so America is like the epicenter of certain things, and all over the world is happening. All over the world, the countries are facing, the people are taking back control of their lives, reclaiming control of their lives from these dictators. Right now, the last thing I saw on Blue Sky, for the first time ever, I looked at Blue Sky before I went to bed, and I didn't feel horrible. The last thing I saw on Blue Sky was about from just one little mouse, just from one poster, about anti-Orban protests in Hungary, because Viktor Orban is an ally of Trump, an ally of the dictators. He's one of the dictators on the dictators table, and there's anti-Orban protests in Hungary. That's amazing. Before that, I was informed that they're anti-Erdogan protests in Turkey, another dictator. Anti-Erdogan protests in Turkey. There are protests happening all over the world. I think there was even anti-Putin protests in Russia. This information, it is really hard to find because they're not trying to inform us about these things. But there's a rise of the protest. There's a rise of the fight back. There's a rise of the reclaiming of our power and control of our own lives. Reclaiming our power. A reminder of who we are. There's a transmuting of darkness into light, and it is rising, and it is happening, and it is coming. Unfortunately, I have so many videos that I've recorded that needs to be posted just as much as this one. I have to release my end of March videos because I believe that every video that I make is important and needs to be posted. I don't know. I regard them as sowing seeds. Sowing seeds into the soil of the algorithm, and then letting it do whatever it's supposed to do, whatever work it's supposed to do. So when I create, I post. So I don't know when this video is going to be posted, and I don't know where we're going to be at in the timeline. This probably is going to be posted in the second week of April, because in the first week of April, I am going to be releasing my end of March videos. But I'm going to post this, and I want you, when you finally watch this video, I want you to take stock of where you're at personally, in your facing your shadows, in your dealing with your shadow work. Apparently I just learned from the book that I just read that the phrase shadow work was created by Carl Jung. Carl Jung is, according to this book, let me see if I can find that. Carl Jung is a psychoanalyst. I know Carl Jung is somebody who puts good information out, good information for us, for humanity to learn from. Apparently, shadow work was a phrase that he termed. That was his phrase, facing our shadows, dealing with our shadows. And when you get to watch this video, I'd like you to take stock of where you are right now in terms of facing your shadows and what's coming to the surface. And don't run away, because this is the class that we're in. We are cramming for the finals. I don't know when the finals are, but we are in it. We are currently cramming for the finals, right? This is our humanities test. Are we going to reclaim our power and remember who we are? Are we going to let these dictators dictate our lives and control our lives? Or are we going to reclaim control of our own light, control of our own destiny, control of our own life? Are we going to heal? Are we going to step into our power? Are we going to transmute darkness into light, positive, negative into positive? Because what they're doing is they're trying to turn positive into negative so they can devour it. I know I keep saying that. They're whipping up our fear and whipping up our traumas and our triggers and bringing all these things to the surface with the hopes that it makes us fearful and submissive and confused and pressured and exhausted and all the negative emotions so they can devour it, because that's what gives them it, the force of darkness, strength. Our job is, the most important thing right now is self-care, one, and facing our own shadows, our traumas and triggers, as I would say, our traumas and triggers, because once we do that, we're empowered to transmute darkness into light. And I know that you, as a constant follower of my, just killed a bug, constant follower of my videos, if you're one of those, you would have heard me talk about same movie. There's many, but there's same movie over and over, because, like I said, is one of the best depictions of transmutation. You know, the rise of the Guardians, and I've been constantly calling it a Disney movie, and then I realized it's a DreamWorks movie actually, the rise of the Guardians. And that, if you want a visual in your head of what transmuting darkness into light, or turning light into dark, or dark into light looks like, that would be a good one. It's a good kid show with life lessons for everybody to watch, to have the visual to go with that image that I'm talking about. But they're trying to turn our traumas and triggers into food, but you need to turn it into light, into empowerment, into empowering yourself and strength and healing and all the good stuff. You know, we couldn't control all the bad things that happen to us, but we can definitely control what we do with all the bad things that happen to us. And so take stock of where you are when you watch this video, and where the world is when you watch this video. And remember to comment and like and subscribe, and comment and say something, and we could talk. If you want to be more current, because I don't know when this can get posted, so I don't know what's going on. Know that you are watching it. I don't know what's going to be happening in the world, but if you want to be more current, you could trust when I tell you that I am just as current as you in real life, but my videos are like a turtle, slow like a turtle. My videos come out a little bit later because I'm living and learning and doing different things. So I cannot spend all my time editing and, you know, putting out these videos at the speed of, you know, what is current. I can't do it. I just can't. It's impossible. It is what it is. I've accepted it. That's the season I'm in. That's the period I'm in. I'm trying to, I just can't be current right now in terms of my posting. But if you want to talk about anything that is current, you can rest assured that I am aware of it, because I'm paying attention. I'm totally aware of what's happening. Even if I might not be aware of all the details, I'm aware of it. And we have access to information. So if I need to dig into something a little bit deeper so we could talk about it, I will. So feel free, if you watch this video, to comment on anything current that you want to talk about, and we could talk about it. Anything that you want to talk to me about, we could talk about it. The reason that my channel is the way it is because I'm currently building. I don't really have a big community right now so I don't really have an obligation of talking about certain things or keeping it current or anything like that, because right now I don't know who is watching, because the engagement isn't, you know, telling me enough. You know, I know for sure that the one person that's going to comment on this video is my mom. And I appreciate my mom. I appreciate you watching this video. Like I said, the theme is early morning thoughts. Early morning thoughts on April 3rd, 2025. There are going to be lots of protests in America on April 5th. So I'm interested to see how April 5th turns out. And I will pray for all the people that are participating in that. And I will pray for all the people that are participating in the resistance, in the transmutation efforts, in the holding the light efforts. This is my lantern. Holding the light efforts, in the holding the vision of the future efforts. All of us, every single thing that we are doing matters right now. Whatever it is, it matters. There's no wrong way to handle this. It is just what it is. It is what it is. We are doing the best we can. So thank you for watching.